Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to an awesome video on the breakdown channel. As you know, things look a little different. I think I'm gonna start shooting it this way, but it is nighttime. My wife is house sitting for the week, so I will see her, but I'll be able to record for a few days here by myself. And at a weird time I normally don't get to record. So I'm gonna take advantage of it. And I needed to record this video because this is happening tomorrow night. So definitely need to take advantage. And I wanted to talk about the CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic. There was a show that popped up on the network. I was actually reviewing something else I'm getting ready to record as well. After this video, record my review of that pay-per-view. So stay tuned for that. But the bracketology, yeah, was on there, and I was really excited because I'm like, oh, cool, they're going to talk about it. Didn't really expect it to be tomorrow night, so I'm really excited. I'll have something to do tomorrow night. Definitely watch that, and I'll definitely do a review on the Cruiserweight Classic. Probably going to dedicate a lot of time to watching that. May take me a couple days to get that review up because I may watch half of it and then stop. Haven't really even got through Raw yet this week, so need to get through that. And because it's just been a chore, and actually, I probably won't because I seen what matches were on there, and just didn't impress me. Like there was nothing on there. Like seriously, Darren Young winning the Battle Royal was the only thing that happened on Raw this week. But anyway, let's get into the CWC. Enough chit chat. It's been a minute and a half, or almost 2 minutes. I haven't even started talking about it. So the big news is that what's his name? Mark Ronaldo, whatever. Ronaldo's his freaking name. I know that last name. And Daniel Bryan will be the announcers for the Cruiserweight Classic tomorrow night. So interesting. And when this uploads, it'll probably be tomorrow. It will be July 13th. So currently it's like midnight, 12:30 a.m. around that time. So today, I should say, Daniel Bryan and Mark Ronaldo, I think is his name. I don't know. Don't hold me on names. I'm not good on announcers. I don't, because they change all the time. Like if they stay around a long time, I'll remember their names. But if not, whatever. But Ronaldo, I'm assuming, is going to stay around for a long time because he's a great announcer. I'm excited for Daniel Bryan to become an announcer, and I kind of hope this means he's going to be moving to SmackDown, possibly as an announcer or possibly to Raw as an announcer. Please God, anything but what they have right now on the Raw team. It has to be the worst announced team we have ever had. I can think back, and I don't think I've ever remembered them having a horrible announced team on Monday Night Raw. This is it. They have the most horrible announced team on Raw right now. And even on SmackDown, like, it's not even that good either. Even with Jerry Lawler, like, they put, I think, isn't Michael Cole on that too? I got to swear he was. It's not very good. Not very good at all. Even JR felt like out of place on SmackDown when he was on there. Anyway, let's get into the Cruiserweight Classic. Let's talk about some of the wrestlers. First of all, I'll talk about the two wrestlers I didn't even put on this paper. But Tajiri is back, is one of the guys. I love Tajiri, and I'll run through, and at the end, I'll give you my prediction of who I think is going to win the Cruiserweight Classic. I didn't even put the one guy that I think is going to win on the paper, but I think I remember his name. I may butcher his name, but whatever. But let's talk about Tajiri. Tajiri did a lot in the WWE. Was he favored? Was he pushed heavily? No. But he did have a good standing with the company. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of Tajiri. And at the end of the bracketology, Triple H was on there, and he talked about, and they asked him, is this the end for the Cruiserweight Classic? And I think he wants to make the Classic a yearly event, to where every time around this year, or maybe they might change the time of the year it happens at, but they're going to do another one at some point in time. But what was asked is, what's going to happen to any of these wrestlers? Will the opportunity end? And he said no. So I don't know if they're thinking about bringing back the Cruiserweight title, if they're going to have one for each show. That's what I'm thinking. And that would be very, very awesome to see a lot of these guys have the opportunity to be in the WWE and, actually start a division. But But Tajiri has done a lot for the company. I would love to see Tajiri back. I think he could do a lot more, even not as a cruiserweight wrestler. He could do a heck of a lot more. He was very entertaining when he was in WWE. Don't know why he left. I don't know what the terms of why he got released the first time. I, I have no idea, no clue. But I mean, he was great. I liked him. Maybe he just had an injury and they released him. I have no idea. Brian Kendrick was the other one. Now, Brian Kendrick is kind of a guy who I missed, completely missed. Did not watch him really at all. Didn't know anything about him. When I started watching him, I saw at the beginning when he came in and was tag teaming with London Kendrick, and I heard about them winning the tag team belts. And then I heard when I started watching wrestling again for a brief period, he was with I think Ezekiel Jackson was the bodyguard, and he had changed and he turned heel, and he was called the Brian Kendrick. And I heard about the long reigning tag team thing that I think still stands today. I think the New Day is getting ready to break the. I think they're getting ready to break the record. I'm assuming that's what they're trying to do. But London and Kendrick held that record for the longest time, and I mean, I remember that, and people still talk about it to this day. And I've never really seen much, so I'm hoping to go back and catch the beginning of that, and in turn, kind of start another kind of because I watched 2009 Royal Rumble, but anyway, I'm getting off track. But anyway, Brian Kendrick, am I excited? Not really. He looks kind of weird. That's all I'm saying. He looks weird. Um, and I know I shouldn't say like that's why I don't like him, but do I want to see him in WWE? Probably not. I think this is a one and done kind of thing. I think that he'll probably stick around though, just because he's friends with Daniel Bryan, and he's I think he said he was like 37 years old or something like that, or 39 years old. So he's getting up there. They may hire him to do like tag team or something like that, but I don't really know. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly would love to see a new promotion come out of this, starting a new kind of a brand that is going to start with the cruiserweight wrestlers. That would be awesome. I think Triple H could do it, and he could, put somebody in charge of it and have a great, another company created just like NXT. He created something awesome with NXT. Who knows? He could create something with the cruiserweight wrestlers that would be amazing for the network. Just like NXT, and start the ball rolling there. But let's talk about some of the other wrestlers. Jack Gallagher. Oh my God, this guy looked amazing. Red hair. You gotta like redhead people. You can't really tell, but I'm a redhead. Um, Jack Gallagher has red hair. He looks like kind of like the vaudevillains kind of in a way. But he has red hair. He says I'm a gentleman until you get in that ring, and then I'm going to win the match. Blah blah. He talked a really good talk. He seemed like a baby face, and he seemed like he would get over. He's like 167 pounds or something like that. Really awesome. I hope he wins the tournament. I think that'd be awesome. And they kind of were talking him up a little bit. So you never know. You never know. And then we have the Bollywood brothers, the Sihra brothers from India. And these guys look pretty cool when they showed them in the ring doing things. Very entertaining. It's kind of cool that, we had the Great Khali. What can we say about him? Anyway, but these guys are actually, they're smaller, they're cruiserweights, they have a lot more to offer. And the one brother looked like he had a lot of like potential. Like he could probably do something, possibly with the cruiserweight title if brought onto the WWE if they started that, and maybe even started a company for cruiserweights, to go to and wrestle, and then every once in a while bringing them up to the main roster and wrestling for the cruiserweight championship, something like that. I think it would be interesting if they had their own like brand to wrestle under, and also give them an opportunity to kind of rotate in and out and go up to the main roster, and then have a chance there to wrestle as well. And when given the opportunity, just kind of go at the main roster and then come back to the cruiserweight brand that they end up creating. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be something cool to see, and I'm hoping that's what they do, because that would be the coolest thing in the world if they would just make like a cruiserweight wrestling organization. I don't know what they call it. I mean, I'm sure Triple H would come up with something cool, or whatever. Have the fans name it or something. I don't know. The next people, and I don't remember their names. Their names are something weird. I'm not trying to offend like any Indian people, but You guys got some weird ass names. Anyways, Rich Swann is next, and I've heard Rich Swann a lot because I get the WWN, who they worked with a lot with this Cruiserweight Classic to get footage and wrestlers for the Cruiserweight Classic. I think they arranged a lot of meetings and stuff with the WWE, and they've been working very, very closely with them. WWE Live, which is really cool because they have a lot of wrestling organizations under their umbrella, and they're helping WWE to kind of get into the independent world, which is really, really neat, and a good little partnership is coming between them. But Rich Swann is a black guy. He's got a lot of I would love to see him in the WWE as a cruiserweight champion. He's got a hell of a lot of potential. He does amazing moves. He reminds me of a version of Rey Mysterio, kind of mixed with Billy Kidman a little bit, and I like it because he does the flip moves that are really, really fast and instantaneous moves. But then you also got him where he does moves like Kidman, which are like moves where they're kind of awing, And Rey Mysterio had that, but never really. It was always like Frankensteiners and freaking hurricanranas and stuff like that. That's all he really did for the most part, and flips off or jumping off the ropes and stuff like that, which Rich Swann can do. They showed him doing the moves, so I'm really impressed with him. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. So Tommaso Ciampa, not sure why he's in the Cruiserweight Classic. I'm not really into that, and I'm not really into Johnny Gargano being in the Cruiserweight Classic. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. They could have got some other people. I don't really think they need to be in this tournament. I hope to God not one of them wins. If one of those guys wins this tournament, it's going to be a joke. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be a joke. I like them, but I just don't think they should be in this tournament. I think it's a waste of 2 spots they could have gave to somebody else in this tournament. Just to be honest, I just don't think they belong in this tournament. And I think cruiserweights as a whole, I'm not saying they should all be flippy floppy, but when you got guys like they're traditional wrestlers like Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, I don't think they fit the mold. They need to be a very technical wrestler, or they need to be a cruiserweight, or they need to be a lucha libre. They need to be something like that. They don't need to be one of those. I don't really think. I don't know. I'm going to watch the tournament. I'm going to watch it all the way through. So we'll see. My view may change. I'm going to give a complete review of it. There may be part 1, part 2. Who knows? I don't know how they're going to do it. I think it's going to happen in one day, or it's going to start tomorrow. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how I'm going to review it. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The whole bracket was on there. Well, one thing I want to point out is, though, they're going to the right side or the left side, and they went through every single match. When they get to the right side of the bracket, they skipped. They skipped 2 matches. I don't know why, but they skipped 2 matches. It's either 2 or 1 match. I don't know why. I would like to know why, because I know it was. And I don't know if maybe they don't know if those guys are going to be wrestling, if something is up. But it was Tony Nese and another guy, Anthony Bennett. Yeah, Anthony Bennett takes on Tony Nese, and I don't know why they didn't talk about him. I don't know if maybe they can't talk about him, but they're in the tournament and they'll be on the program, but they just can't talk about them or something. I have no idea. But when they come out to the ring, they're going to have to announce their names, so I don't understand why they didn't talk about them. And I think there's another one that they didn't talk about too, so I don't understand what was going on with that. Maybe they'll say why they didn't talk about them in the bracketology. I don't understand, but looking forward to it. Don't want to make this a super long video because really there's nothing much to talk about. But here's what I want to tell you. My predictions that I think who's going to win it. Cody Ibushi, you know what I'm talking about. First of all, if you haven't watched the bracketology, I would watch the bracketology because I think it was really cool. The only thing I didn't like was Brian Kendrick. I'm not a fan of Brian Kendrick. I just don't like him. I liked him when he was with London, and I liked him when he was funny. Right before John Cena went on and done big things, he was doing funny things with John Cena, rapping wise and things like that. I liked him when he was the funny Brian Kendrick. And I think that was before he got with Paul London. Which is funny because I thought about this, like, where the hell is Paul London? And I know that he was in, I think it was him, that or was Billy Kidman. They still wrestle. So what happened there? Like, they couldn't get a hold of them, or they didn't want to come back? I don't know. I think it would have been interesting to see them, but I think things must have got burnt bridges right there. I don't know. But who I think is going to win, I think if the WWE is going to pick somebody to win this tournament, here are a few names to throw out there. Kota Ibushi could end up winning because he's a big name. He's from Japan. They even called him the greatest cruiserweight in the world currently. They also had a guy they first talked about called Zack Sabre Jr., and supposedly he is the best technician in the world and the best all around wrestler, supposedly, that people claim or fans have said that he is the best wrestler in the world. So he could be a guy that had win. The other side is that Brian Kendrick is 37 years old, 39 years old, whatever. He's an old classic WWE wrestler. They could have him win the tournament just to have it be a Cinderella story, possibly to jumpstart him into being the first cruiserweight champion back, having something solidified as to him being a credible champion on the main roster, having that transport him to the main roster, and then maybe starting something on the network. Him being kind of a fire starter in that way. Now I know Kendrick has helped people in NXT, so maybe he could help people if Triple H decides to start a brand, give Kendrick a job with the company doing something behind the scenes. Kendrick kind of looked at Daniel Bryan. I think he looked at the job and he was like, I kind of like that. I would love to do some announcing, Who knows? Kendrick could do that. Camera is like, for some reason, it's moving, I think. In the world, this camera is like weird sometimes. Okay. But who do I think? Who do I want to win? First of all, I can't wait to hear what Daniel Bryan's going to sound like on the announce team. The other side of this is the people that I talked about were the people I was the most interested in. So besides the Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I'm not really into them. But Rich Swann, I would love to see win it. They kind of they talked him up a little bit. And they also talked up Jack Gallagher a lot. So I would love to see Rich Swann or Jack Gallagher get the win and win this whole entire tournament. I would love to see one of the Bollywood brothers win. But I think what's going to happen with the Bollywood brothers is that they're going to go far in the tournament, but I think that they will fall short at some point. But we'll see them back. I think they'll be in NXT. I think they'll bring them up. And then possibly, we'll see probably something go on, whatever Triple H has in store for these cruiserweights. Like I said, I really think that he's going to start a brand. If he doesn't start a new brand, I would be surprised if we don't see that a lot of these guys end up on the main roster or end up going to NXT and then going to the main roster very, very shortly, because a lot of these guys are very, very experienced, like Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi, and I can see him signing huge deals with them, bring them up to the main roster like very, very quickly to start a cruiserweight division and to get that really up and going. Because I think they already have people up on the roster that they could do things with. You guys got Neville, and you guys got what else? I think Neville's, is he 220? I don't know. 205 was the cutoff limit. I know. This one dude was really stupid on the freaking bracketology. It really ticked me off. Oh, he's 230 or something, and he dropped 25 pounds. Who cares? Like, don't be dumb. Then why is he in the freaking cruiserweight tournament? Doesn't make no damn sense. Anyways, there you go. Comment down below if you've seen the bracketology and if you see this before the tournament tomorrow night. Like I said, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to break it down into different episodes or they're going to do it all one night. I have no idea. Hopefully they break it down. Good God, I would hope they do like round 1, round 2, semifinals, and maybe do the semifinals and finals in the same night or something. I have no idea. But can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited. I think everybody's excited when this happened, and I think a lot of stuff that Mark whatever his name is, Ronaldo, and Daniel Bryan said rung true. And Ronaldo was really talking from the fans' perspective, saying, "Thank you, Triple H. I can't believe this happened." Blah blah blah. I think a lot of people are shocked out there. We are all shocked. I think that something like this is going to happen on the WWE Network. We're going to get a cruiserweight tournament, 32 guys, a cruiserweight tournament. Whoever thought that WWE would do something like this, pulling in independent wrestlers? Whoever thought that we would see Kenta in a WWE ring someday? Whoever thought that we would see Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor, in the ring one day? We all thought these things, and now it's all coming true thanks to Triple H And thanks to him and Stephanie McMahon, and hopefully the future of WWE is going to be great with a mind like Triple H behind Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon, helping him get into the future of the company. And I think the Cruiserweight Classic is a step in that direction. That's all I got to say about the Cruiserweight Classic. Hopefully everyone checks it out on the WWE Network. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're not subscribed to the WWE Network yet, I don't know. I'm not paid by them, but I don't know why you're not signed up, because it's only like, was it like $10 a month? I mean, Jesus, man. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, it's and even if you're just getting it like every once in a while, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. If you're thinking about like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's worth it, blah blah blah, dude, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Like, I just watched a WCW pay-per-view randomly from 1993. It was amazing. It was awesome. You can just pick any pay-per-view. You can pick ECW, WWF, whatever. It's awesome. So definitely the Cruiserweight Classic is a bonus just thrown in here. NXT is always a bonus thrown in there. But a lot of people get the network just for NXT. It's the only place you can get it. Cruiserweight Classic is going to be the only place you can see it, is on the WWE Network. Hope you guys check it out. As always, like, comment, subscribe to the Breakdown channel, and keep rocking.